This episode was filmed on a Panasonic GX85. The Panasonic GX85 was released back in 2016. Now, at the time, it cost around $800. Nowadays, you can find it used for around $300. How has this camera held up over the past 4 years? Pretty well, actually. I mean, on this channel, I do a lot of these budget camera reviews, and out of all of them, this is the very first one that actually has 4K. And I gotta say, I genuinely love the image quality from the GX85. 4K footage from this camera looks amazing. And speaking of this, the GX85 does 4K at 24 and 30 frames per second, and then it gives you 1080p at 24, 30, and 60 frames per second. Now those are all in MP4. It also gives you the option to shoot in AVC HD as well. You've got a 16 megapixel micro four thirds sensor, a 2.76 million dot EVF, a 1.4 million dot tilting touchscreen display, and on top of all that, 5-axis image stabilization with dual IS. By the way, it should be noted that the screen on the GX85 isn't one that actually articulates all the way out to the side or flips all the way up. Instead, the GX85 has one of those screens that kind of tilts down a little bit for overhead shots and then tilts up a little bit for low angle shots. I think for me, one of the biggest selling points of the GX85 is the in-body image stabilization. I've been filming a lot of this B-roll at 25 millimeters and 45 millimeters. I mean, that's a 50 to 90 millimeter full frame equivalent, and I've been filming all of that handheld. The autofocus on the GX85 uses Panasonic's depth from defocus technology. Basically uses complex lens algorithms to calculate the distance from the subject to the background and the subject to the foreground. In theory, it sounds great. In reality, it works for photography, but it doesn't really work that well at all for video. Now, one really cool feature that comes in handy if you make YouTube videos is the 4K live cropping feature. Basically takes a 4K image and allows you to set a start point and an end point. It crops into 1080p and creates a slow pan along that image. It basically gives you the look of using a slider, even though your camera's actually just sitting there completely stationary. Another feature I really like about the GX85 is the video display mode. Now, with all cameras, when you use digital stabilization, there's always a crop factor. And that can be tricky sometimes when you're trying to set up your shot, because what you see on the LCD screen is framed to about here to here. And then the second you hit the record button, it punches into like here to here. With the video display mode on the GX85, it actually just shows you on the LCD screen ahead of time what the image is going to look like. So when you hit the record button, it doesn't punch in. You're already seeing exactly what it's going to look like. Now, one genuine disappointment with the GX85 is the lack of a mic input. I don't know if Panasonic was trying to protect their higher-end cameras or if they felt that the user of the GX85 simply didn't need a mic input. Either way, it's frustrating because you have a very capable video camera that's missing a very essential video feature. So who's the GX85 actually for? Well, it's definitely a great camera for street photographers. I mean, you've got that cool retro rangefinder style, and it's in a really small, compact body. Now, in terms of video, that's more of a question mark there, especially if you're filming YouTube videos. The lack of an articulating screen and the lack of a mic input is kind of a deal breaker, especially when you consider that the Panasonic G7 has both of those things, and it too shoots 4K and costs right around the same as the GX85. It's kind of hard to justify buying this over buying that. Anyway, I think that's about all I got for today, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again next time.